I had never met Ethan Fowler before. I'd driven across the United States. Thomas Campbell had come with us, and he had the idea to stop by his friend Ethan's house, who was at that time 16 years old, and he was really amazing skateboarder. And Thomas's idea was like stop by his house, say hello to him, and shoot a bunch of photos, and maybe we can use him for Big Brother, or, magazine article or something.
They were coming through from New York, and I had met before and shot with Thomas and stuff, and we got along good, so came through to shoot weird Iowa spots. And then they were splitting, and I said, well, we got extra seat, you want to come? And I said, well, yeah, but, what do I do? I mean, so I just had, like, my shit in my backpack, like extra pair of shoes and a shirt. And I was like, okay, let's go. And so I went to the bank, took out all my money, just got in and split, and that was it. End of story.
Did you tell your mom?
Yeah, I was there like for 3 days. I called and said I live in San Francisco now,
Yeah, one of the first times I met Ethan, it was his birthday, and me and Tobin went over to his house, and he was kind of weird. He was kind of odd. He was like playing jazz and playing his drums and listening to jazz music really loud, like really crazy jazz. And he was drinking whiskey. I remember that. And like he was only 15 or something, and I was doing speed at the time, and so I offered him some speed, and he was like, oh fuck yeah, and like I didn't know he was 15 at the time, and then I learned, like later, that he was drunk on whiskey, he was high on speed, but before all that he had dropped like 2 hits of acid. I don't know. Obviously, I like that kind of thing in people, so we had a good time that night.
So that's it, I mean, basically, he was in our video during that time. Like, that was the time we filmed for Toy Machine Live. So yeah, a lot of that footage from that period was like Ethan in his like new phase, coming from Iowa City, and you can see him in the video smoking cigs and like wearing cool vests and things. And within weeks of him being in SF, I get a call from him saying, I'm running for stereo.
Ethan just oozed style, man. We always say like it was as if he was born for stereo. But I kind of had this vision of like, man, I want to like get like some like skate company going where like it's all like solid skating, with like big tricks and not all like the board hitting the ground at the same time as the dude or whatever. When he came along, it was like the golden child of stereo basically, and we gave him 2 weeks to film that video part. And him and Tobin came back with his part. They went out like 4 or 5 times. Like the stereo video was like, this is what happens when you leave the house with a skateboard.
Did you film a lot of his stereo part?
Yeah, I filmed probably most of it. And as well as like, I filmed most of the video. And yeah, it was really fun. He was just like a prodigy skateboarder. So he just came to San Francisco, started filming for his part, and basically just kind of like made every trick that he tried, and he was just in this like this kind of mode, just being like Superman skateboarder.
Skateboarding was kind of shit back then. Small wheels, creeping at a curb, just doing the stab and wiggle where you don't even ollie, just like and then I don't know, these guys were skating fast and smooth. It's kind of like a precursor to Eastern exposure. Like it was the start of skating like getting good again.
Chris Pastras and Jason Lee were in this very same office, and they were looking through that Ethan Fowler footage, and they were like, man, we got lucky on this kid, because he was 15, he won the world championships, I'm not worthy, He did a couple 3 flips and some flat grounds, some front boards, some big spins, and people were like, in a contest, unbelievable, which is all normal now, but at that time, it was all really pretty earth-shattering. Ethan, I think he was an amazing skater. He told me some really funny things in life. I think, he goes, Phelps, man, this is when he was the slick back fucking Teen Wolf. I was like, all right, what is it? And he's like, well, everybody else is all trying to flip the board, man. I just want to ollie everything. He has supreme like ollie powers.
But that was the whole idea, like I don't think anybody on that team was even remotely interested in sitting there for 3 hours trying to get some insane thing on a curb that they would make once a year. But no, at the time, I don't think it was. I mean, it was well received in small circles, but like for the most part, it was like, whatever, you know. These goofballs.
What were like contemporary videos, like World Industry
Virtual reality,
or
virtual reality. That was the one we were up against, I think. You know, like in terms of timing, and the first girl video I think had come out. Yeah, for sure. Stereo definitely always got a strong reaction, one way or the other. You know, that's for sure.